Well, it finally happened. It's in the parking lot the other day. Complete, total stranger comes up to me. He goes, "I know you." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." And I go, "Oh my gosh, you've seen Mountain Cult." And I was so happy. Then he looks at me and he goes, No, not from Mountain Cult." He goes, "You're the piece of shit that keeps parking in my parking spot." And then from there, the cops got involved and it just became this whole ordeal. And, they took him away and he said as soon as he gets out, he's coming back for me. But long story short, this is Film Journal, episode 7. Today we're going to talk about preparation. More specifically, I'd like to get through these 5 bullet points. Don't know if I will. We have story, location, equipment, props, and actors. And I'm going to be speaking about these items in reference to the big shoot. That's right, we finally did it. We had our super cool big day, July 19th. The big day of filming that I've been looking forward to for a long time, preparing for a long time, and God almighty, was it a lot of work to get to that point. Real quick, I'll sum it up. My process with the story, and it changed drastically from draft to draft to draft. And it always seems to begin with this general image I have, and I try to take that image and put it on paper, and I try to find events that correlate with the image that I see, and then from there I try to build a plot. It took me a long time to find a plot for this one because it was really just a mess of jumbled garbage. I mean, that's what you're gonna get if you start with image over story or character or plot. But I did find a plot that I liked and a general feeling and emotion to it. And I just kept sending out draft after draft. A few of the same people kept rereading it, and then it would be some different ones. And finally, when I got the it's okay, then I went forward to the next step. So the location obviously took a lot of work. I've talked about it before, so I'm not going to get that far into it. Maria's Antiques let us film there. It was awesome, incredible. It was really cool because I kept speaking with Maria's Antiques and I frequently stopped in there. I was able to take my camera in there on more than a few occasions and take pictures of the general area that the scene would take place in. And the advantage of that was I got to see kind of which lens I would be able to use in which area. I put a filming sign on the door when we filmed, and wouldn't you know it, people are banging on the freaking window, sticking their faces in. Ooh, I wonder what they're doing, and I gotta, Jesus, like, the stuff you do on camera is so different than stuff you would ever do in real life. And I make it sound like I do something bad. I really don't. You're being forced to do something against your will, right? You're being physically threatened to do something against your will. And you have the cameras and it says filming in progress, but you have people staring through the window and you never know which idiot is gonna call 911 and say, "I think something's going on here." What a sinister plot that would be, to put filming in progress and really be taking someone hostage. But equipment, oh shit, I got notes on what to say. Knowing what to bring and what you will use. Yes, that's very important. I have 2 different cheap do-it-yourself dollies that I use. One's a dolly and one's a slider, and I love using them. I love the shots I get out of them, but seeing how much of a confined space it wasn't practical to even bring the dolly, and I never even brought the slider in because we were so crunched for time the whole day. You want everything to be so damn organized the day that you film that you can find the flathead screwdriver you need in less than 30 seconds. If you just have all your crap thrown into different bags and you just bring it all, and you're gonna make a mess on the set, you're gonna have stuff in the shot that shouldn't be there, and you're gonna waste precious time. Being disorganized is a absolute killer for having a good shoot. Props, wow, that was way down at the bottom. I spent a lot of time building these props, and to give you a general idea, in the actual writing, this scene that we shot the other day, it's like one character is like eating almonds, and then my character, he's pretending to be someone else, and he brings like a potted plant to the meeting. So let's just take those two things. So we have one character eating almonds, and my character has a potted plant, and he's trying to be disguised. Well, then you start thinking, well, if my character is like going by a fake name, wouldn't it make sense for him to disguise himself a little bit? So then you realize, oh, so I need a hat. So I need a hat and a potted plant. Then you have almonds. But people don't just eat almonds. They don't just eat them out of the bag. How does the character eat them? Does he eat them out of a bowl, or does he eat them out of a Ziploc bag? Then on top of that, you have the table. Are they just gonna sit around on this plain wooden table, or is there gonna be like a sense of environment to it? You need to pick out a specific table mat that matches the characters and what they're doing and what they're about and who they are. And then we also had a basket with some random household items and one important prop. And so I ordered the one important prop, and then the day before I realized, you know what? If they're having household items that each character brought in, then these items should probably be specific to the characters who brought them. So that's like the bare minimum of what I had to do in preparation for props. I also had this strange contraption. We'll keep it secret what it does. Oh my God. We'll keep it secret what it does, but I'll tell you what it doesn't do is blow up a fucking building. And the reason I say that is because I think day 3 of spray painting these PVC pipes and attaching speaker wire to them and hanging, and then super gluing the speaker wire to the pipes and hanging them outside to dry, I am very fortunate that a concerned neighbor didn't place a very certain call to a certain agency to report a certain someone, because it looks bad. People don't, every time you get involved in film or writing, you end up like, you can be Googling some shit that'll really ruin your life very fast. So actors. So actors is another big deal for 2 reasons. Number 1 is casting them. So now you have the story, you're ready to go, you have a location, you're ready to go, you know what you need, okay, you're ready. You gotta cast the actors. So you need time for casting, because you need to announce that the part's available, you need to give them at a minimum of 2 weeks to select whether or not they want to submit for it. Then you gotta give a minimum of another week to 2 weeks on top of that for them to submit their audition. So the way I do it in 2 rounds. Say the part's open, this is what it is. Here's an idea of the story. I was crunched for time this time. I think I only gave like a week for submissions, and then a week, maybe 2 weeks, I don't know. It was like a 2 or 3 week process. So you have to schedule that appropriately, because for me, I had the date that I was gonna film before I had the actors for it. That being said, I would be grateful to introduce you to some of the cast. I'll put a clip up here of the little Zoom meeting we have. Maybe I'll just cut to it, but we have Nadeem. He's gonna play Dr. Morowitz. Patrick is gonna play Charlie Armstrong. Katie is coming back to play her wonderful character of Deidre. And Sebastian Sage is coming back to play Edward. We also have Kevin is gonna be playing a secret character. The first part is casting the film, and then the next part is communication. When you take on the role of producing a film, whatever you want to call it, you have to communicate with people, and you have to answer emails, and you have to give dates and give specifics and give locations and addresses and information and directions. And that's a whole lot of work. Then on top of that, you got to be able to answer to, hey, TMW Productions, I was just wondering, how come he just starts chewing on a bar of soap after he turns on a light? It doesn't really make sense. And then you gotta find a reason. Wait, why did I write that anyways? And sometimes they ask you questions and you don't know why you wrote it that way. And sometimes they point out lines. Like I had a line that that was so stupid. And it was like, oh, that character says, aren't you gonna help me with this blood? And then my character says, sorry, I'm all out of tampons. And it was funny because in the Zoom meeting, I read it out and there was like this awkward silence after. And it was like, yeah, it's not just not funny, it's just bad. It was just a bad cliche It's just stupid. It was just a stupid line. So it was cool because you get more opinions, and you get real invested opinions too, because if they're playing the role, you better believe they're gonna be reading that story thoroughly. Not like your beta readers that, you know, pound a bag of chips and take a glance at it. They're investing in that because it represents them. So those are really great readers as actors. Katie helped me a lot with the script, by the way. So that's pretty much it. Tool of the week. Tool of the week is going to be thrift shops. I went to a thrift shop and I bought a Blu-ray DVD player for $8. And then I bought another one for $10. Why? Well, the first one, because I needed a circuit board for a prop. The second one, because it's a Blu-ray DVD player for $10. Of course I'm going to buy that. Thrift shops are like gold mines if you're making a film, by the way, because now you're getting stuff for super cheap that's been used. And it's really the only time in your life that you want stuff that you don't have that's been used, because now when you put it in a film, it's got a little bit of wear and tear in it, and it's believable that it's not brand new with the tag on it so you can return it the next day. So thrift shops, that's the tool. That's the tool of the week, thrift shops. Resource of the week. It's going to be a video about a 180 degree rule. The reason I bring it up is because that is a huge challenge when you're filming with multiple actors or with any amount of actors, because you don't see it that way when you're behind the camera. You only really get to see the 180 degree rule take effect when you get in the editing room and you start putting all these different clips together. So it's really important to know it beforehand, to know which side of the actors you're going to be shooting on and stay consistent with that, or else everything's going to get all out of whack. That rule is an important rule, and it frustrates me greatly because it seems so simple, but you'll find yourself doing, you know, loops in the brain trying to figure it out with certain circumstances and things. Short of the week. Our short of the week is going to be Take Two. It's done by Surdy Birdie Movies, written and directed by Angad Bawa. It is in Hindi and English, and it's about Ishranth, a disgruntled filmmaker who reunites with his granddaughter for a weekend, and she brings him out of his desolation. It's an awesome film, but it's just a great story, and it's got awesome opening, and it's really well done. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's a lot of filmmakers from the East that are really stepping it up, and they're starting to come out with some really good films. And I'll bet you in the next 20 years, you'll see more and more films coming from overseas that are dominating the American marketplace, because there's some very serious, very talented, very good filmmakers who really know what they're doing. Oh, our tip of the day, do something every day. You know, you're not gonna get everything done, and it's easy to get overwhelmed, but make a list, figure out the stuff you have to do. Just do one thing every day. I made a great, cool coffee mug this week. That was the first time that I made one that I was actually really proud of. And the t-shirts, my t-shirts are getting better too, so I'm pretty proud of that. But find one thing to do every day. Today it's filming this for me. Even if all you do is one thing, if you just do one thing every day, you will move forward. That's our tip of the day. That's it, that's all I got. All right, well, have a great day.